Today I'm really super excited to introduce to you guys this person I've been talking to on Twitter. He's got all this attitude and edge, and he founded one of the best trading websites I've been stalking when I was starting out, and totally helpful for me, Tradeciety. So, hi Moritz, how are you?
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm great.
Oh, it's gonna be really informal and just have fun with me. So, how about you tell me more about yourself?
All right. So, yeah, I'm from Germany right now, staying mostly in Hong Kong and Germany, like 50-50. And I've been trading for 8 years. Before that, I was a professional poker player.
Wow.
And studied philosophy and psychology. And besides that, I'm running with my business partner of the websites Tradeciety, as you said, and the professional trading journal Edgewonk as well.
God, I'm such a big fan of Edgewonk. How often do you fly to Hong Kong? How often are you in Germany?
Usually it's like 4 weeks, like forth and back. Because I love Hong Kong a lot, and I've lived there before for a year. It's my favorite place on earth. So.
What made you say that?
It's an amazing place. You can. Firstly, I love the connection of West and East in one city, and then also city and nature. You can be in the most amazing city with the craziest skyline. You take the boat or the bus, 20 minutes, you are at a beautiful beach, or hiking in a nature reservoir. So, yeah, it's a city of contrasts and never gets boring. So yeah, I just love it.
Oh, that's a really nice way of saying it. Well, you told me you were into poker before all of this. Can you tell me about your career as a poker player?
Sure. Yeah, I started in 2005 or 6, I think, when shortly after the Chris Moneymaker boom. So there was a guy called Chris Moneymaker. I mean, that was his real name. And he won it's ridiculous. He won the World Series of Poker, the World Championship, basically. And that kicked off the poker boom in the 2000s. And suddenly there were online poker sites popping up everywhere. And actually, I had aspirations to become a professional video gamer.
Okay.
That time. Yeah. And one of my mates, he said, that time there was no Twitch and no YouTube, and it was really hard to make a living. Yes, it was really hard to make a living as a professional video gamer. So he said, there's much more money to be made in online poker. And I watched him make a few $1,000s a day. So yeah, then I switched.
Wow.
And that was the start of my online poker career, mostly online, sometimes in the casinos as well. Yeah.
Oh, wow. How did you get into trading then?
That was after Black Friday. So there was the American DOJ, US DOJ, Department of Justice. They busted a few online poker sites for money laundering. And,
oh, man.
Yeah. So they busted my whole poker bankroll, basically. So I was out of a job suddenly. I got the money back later, but I said to myself, I want to be in a more regulated industry. And also in Germany, it was not clear where to pay taxes, if we have to pay taxes as a poker player. So that's when I became a trader. Yeah.
Oh, nobody got you into it? Nobody talked you into it?
Well, it was also an old poker buddy, actually. We were both looking for better ways to make money. And yeah, he found Forex through Google, I guess.
Okay.
That's hilarious. And then we funded our first trading account together. He put in 1,000, I put in 1,000 US, and we busted in a week or so. And then I started learning.
Do you think being a poker player gives you an interesting edge as a trader?
Yeah, definitely. It didn't take me long to become a profitable trader, shorter than most people, and I think mostly due to knowing the importance of a process, of having a feedback loop, like a journal, and also risk management and psychology. So I also knew the importance of having a strategy, and adapting strategy to different conditions. So all of that I just took from poker and I applied it to a trading strategy, and it didn't take me long to start making money.
So how long was this learning curve for you?
Roughly 2 years, 1.5 to 2 years.
Oh yeah, that is quick. That is quick. Well, what's the idea behind Tradeciety? How did it come to life, and how did you get partnered up with Rolf?
That was we met on the internet.
Okay.
Internet bromance. That's quite funny. Yeah, I was working because I didn't have any money, and after they busted my poker bankroll, so I had to get a normal job, but I wanted to get out as quickly as possible. So
Alright.
I was looking on the internet for people who were doing exactly the same as me to partner up with them. And one of those people was on a forum. He was also German. He was also traveling through Asia, and he was also trading. So I thought, all right, let's hit this guy up. And that was Rolf. And we met up, and it clicked, and then we became business partners. Like since then, yeah, we are both quite happy with the decision to partner up.
Yeah, we are too.
Thanks. Yeah, and since then we've been doing. Firstly, we started Edgewonk in 2015 March.
Yeah.
And Tradeciety shortly after, simply because we wanted to have a platform to reach out to other traders as well, and also to network, because it's still my goal to open a fund, and I need to network a lot for that, and this is just a great platform to help us with that. Besides, of course, the additional income, which is always a bonus as a trader.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, I think traders have to find a way to make multiple income aside from trading, because we can't be too market dependent when it comes to that, right?
Yeah. I think it helps your trading a lot if you just don't need to pay the bills with your trading. If you
It's
can
true.
put everything back into your trading account, then you will compound much faster, and also your trading performance will be much better.
So you said that you actually started Edgewonk before Tradeciety. So what do you think is the idea behind that? What's the importance of having a trading journal?
Well, there's no learning by doing in trading. So because it's about probability, you can do everything right and still lose money.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that's the worst part. Or you can do everything wrong and win money. That's even worse.
I know.
That totally messes with your brain, and there's no natural feedback loop. In every other area of life, you do something, if we fail, we know how to improve. But in trading, we don't know, because the feedback loop is messed up. So we need an objective way to analyze what we are doing and how it affects our performance, and that's where the journal comes in. It gives you a feedback loop that works. Yeah.
That's true. How do you think a person could actually succeed in trading? You know, it's a probabilities game. The odds are against you. Your brain is against you. How do you think
well,
could actually?
If you really want to succeed in trading, well, what you really have to do is, firstly, of course, try not to live from your trading income as a beginner, and don't be undercapitalized. Like, I mean, it depends where you're living. If you're, example, living in New York City, obviously you need much more money than when you're living in Thailand. So that's also one of the reasons why in the beginning we both were living in Thailand or China, respectively.
I understand.
Yeah. The cost of living is much lower there, so you can leverage that. And that's one of the main reasons also why I succeeded in trading, because I didn't have to take anything out of my trading account, and I just kept learning and improving. It's much harder, of course, if you have a family or responsibilities. For me, single and no responsibilities at all, it was quite easy. If you have a family, then you have less time and less money. So it's much harder.
So the pressure is a big factor in a person's success in trading.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If we are under pressure, our brain also doesn't work as efficiently as it works when we are not feeling any pressure. So we are learning slower and we are making more mistakes. And in trading, everything compounds. Everything you do great quickly compounds. Everything you do in a bad way also quickly compounds. And it's very hard to dig yourself out of a hole which you have created before due to stupid decisions.
Yeah, I agree. Well, what do you think you could advise for traders? What is the most important skill set a trader must have?
In the beginning, it's definitely risk management. Stay in the game long enough to still be able to play.
Yeah.
And later on, when you are profitable, it's also risk management, but in a different way. Like then you can bet more on good trades, bet less on worse trades, and supercharge your performance basically. And also, like for me right now, once you reach the point where you generate consistent alpha, say every month or every quarter, you make consistent returns, then what becomes really interesting is networking, because your own capital is only gonna get you so far. If you really want to make the big bucks, then in my opinion you have to trade other people's money. And that's when networking comes in, which is right now basically one of my main jobs, to be honest. Just meeting people and make them invest with me. Yes.
How is that? Are you like the kind of person who's into this? Are you introverted, or how do you deal with this?
I'm definitely introverted.
Well, traders mostly are. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
How would you advise people? Like, I get messages now, oh, Miss Celeste, I'm very introverted. I don't know how to even find other traders who could become my accountability buddies. What would you advise to these poor souls?
I would advise them to start, for example, go to social trading websites like Darwinex, for example, or Fanseeder, and they publish your performance. Other people can follow you, and so you get exposure, and then people will approach you, which makes it a lot easier for us introverts, because if we have to approach people, that's much harder for us. If we are being approached, okay. Yeah, and then once you are in certain circles of society, it becomes quite easy, to be honest. It's just mouth-to-mouth propaganda.
Perfect. So I do know that you fly in from Hong Kong to Germany a lot of times. Sometimes you're in Bangkok, and you just got in from from Greece. Now you're living such a really nice life for a lot of people. They want to live your life. What would you advise people who are contemplating about living the life you live?
Well, living the life I live is not for everyone, obviously, because one, of course, it's hard to have friends or relationships, and my family also gets, like, they are on the back seat, of course, because once I get to Germany, everyone wants to see me, but as I am an introvert, I have to say no, please let me rest a little bit. So yeah, it's I only have a few friends, but good friends, so it doesn't matter if I don't see them for a few months or so. It's fine with them.
Okay.
Then obviously, yeah, with the other, as for the business, when you are traveling, you have to make sure that your trading style fits your lifestyle, right? Before I was a day trader actually, and I just switched to swing trading mostly because I want to see more of the locations that I travel to, and don't want to be stuck in front of a screen the whole day.
Perfect.
And yeah, so if you really want to live like the travel and trading lifestyle like me, then make sure that your trading style actually can support that lifestyle, right? Even especially if you are switching through different time zones. And sometimes you don't have a good internet connection, then you need to go to the next Starbucks. There's a lot of challenges that come up outside of trading, like meta skill, jet lag, and so on.
How was the switch from day trading to swing trading? Was it hard?
It was not hard in terms of strategy adjustment. It was much harder in terms of getting used to the holding periods.
Tell me about it.
Super weird to be in a trade overnight or over the weekend or even just a few hours in a trade. It was just, I had to check my chart every 5 minutes because that's what I was used to. But that's horrible, right? If you're in a trade for a week and you check your charts every 5 minutes, you go crazy. So I had to force myself to only look at the charts in the morning and then New York open and London close, for example, or every 4 hours. And I dealt with that with alarms. So I set some alarms on my charts. If price comes here, send me an SMS, for example, or a push notification. And that made it much easier for me. That was the hardest part about the transition. About the strategy itself, it was quite easy because I still use my day trading technique to time the trades. So when a trade comes to a certain level, I go down to the 5-minute and 1-minute charts and time the trade there. But I have the risk reward from a swing trade. So my average trade size has gone up significantly since that. And I think my stress levels have gone down. At least that's what my doctor is telling me. So,
That's important.
Don't want to get a heart attack with 31. So.
Well, what makes you different, Moritz? Like, do you have more discipline than the rest? How do you pull this off?
No, I wouldn't say I have. I would say even I have less discipline than a lot of people I know, but I just never stop. I'm like a snail, for example, that stops for a day or two and does nothing, and then it starts walking again. So,
so it's resilience, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Resilience, perseverance. Yeah, because I hate giving up. Like even for stuff I don't like,
really,
I still want to bring it to the end. Always, yes.
You want to see it through. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's your advice for traders who aren't there yet?
Well, if you're struggling right now, then firstly make sure you have a good process in place. And if you don't have a good process in place, that is the first step you have to take. Even if you think, like a lot of traders think, first I need a working strategy and then I can set up my journal and so on. But you don't know if it works if you don't have a journal. And even if your strategy doesn't work, just start somewhere. Make some rules like go short when MA20 crosses MA50, for example. And then you start adjusting your strategy step by step. And that's how you get a process in place. And then you notice the little nuances and things that happen in the market related to your strategy. The longer you trade a strategy, the more familiar you will become with it. There will be new pathways and synapses being created in your brain that make it a lot easier for you to look at charts. Like right now, I look at a chart, takes me 5 seconds to tell you if there's a trade or not.
Perfect.
And yeah, that's how it should be. And I was teaching that to my cousin, actually, my strategy, and because he also wants to become a full-time trader now.
Cute.
And it took him 10 minutes, for example, to analyze the chart. But that's all about practice. And you only get there if you stick with the strategy. So firstly, you need a process. You need a strategy and you need to stick with the strategy. And then slowly, you will come to break even. And break even is going to be the hardest place to be in because you're so close to the breakthrough. But it's so hard. Yeah, it's really hard. So close to the breakthrough, but you just can't make it. And very frustrating. And then like 1 or 2 little tweaks to your strategy can already make the difference from going to break even to winning trader. And you know, once you're a winning trader, there's really absolutely no limit to how much you can earn. Zero limit. That's the beauty.
That's the beauty of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there are endless ways to make money in trading. Once you say you generate 2 to 3% per month, that's enough to make all the money you'll ever need for this and the next 10 generations.
Well, I know it's going to take a while for the process to actually bear fruit, and it's really hard to convince traders to stop looking at their rewards in the beginning. How do you develop new traders into a more process-oriented or a mature one?
Well, I mostly show them. I tell them every day. I have a few friends in a close group, which I'm mentoring. And I tell them every day, like 5%, 2 to 5% per month is all you need. That can be one good trade. So if you really only need 2 to 3 good trades a month, and you can be absolutely amazingly well off.
Wow.
And that's what I tell them every day. And once as they go into the market, when they start this forex or whatever stocks trading career, they say like, okay, I have $1,000, I have to turn it into 10 million bucks in the next 2 years. And then they fail, of course. It's ridiculous, right? I mean, there are a few prodigies out there that have done it, but what makes you think that you are going to be the next prodigy? Those are statistical outliers, right? So really focus on those 2 to 5% per month. And once they really accept this fact that 2 to 5% per month is a world-class performance, once they accept this fact, they become much more objective, much more process-oriented, much less fear of missing out. And in general, their whole mindset improves, and suddenly they go from losing to winning trader without any changes to the strategy. Only a change to their mindset makes the whole difference. Yeah.
The expectations, yeah,
absolutely. Expectations are everything in this game. It changes your whole psychology.
True, I agree. Hey, have you ever thought about quitting? Ever? When you were starting out, building your process, all that stuff. Ever thought about quitting?
That's a tough question. Like, I think about I quit all the time, to be honest. Like, sometimes I just don't want to look at the charts anymore for a day or two, sometimes for a week, and then I just do something else. I have a lot of hobbies, or I travel a lot. So, and then after a week, I feel like, okay, today I want to look at the charts again. And that's also part of my process, to be honest. I had to learn that the hard way, because I used to force myself to trade even if I didn't feel like it.
Wow, okay.
And cost me a lot of money and nerves and psychological capital, mental capital. So
that's true.
In the end, I said, if I don't want to trade, just don't trade. There will always be another trade tomorrow. It's fine.
Well, I completely agree. I mean, our culture right now is all about getting it over with, just toughing it out, and I don't understand, because there are people who it's a performance field, you can't perform if you're not ready for it. So I agree that sometimes you just need to rest. You just have to take a break from it and then come back stronger.
Exactly. And it will make the whole difference to your bottom line. Seriously. Because protecting mental capital is just as important as protecting your finances. Like, once you are burnt out, or you are not in a position anymore to make objective decisions, it's gonna be horrible. You're gonna dig a huge hole for yourself.
I agree. Yeah. And this is from a guy who has a master's in educational psychology.
Yes.
What got you in there? Like, why did you get a master's in educational psychology, and how does it help you now?
Well, it was mostly to diagnose myself.
What? No, really?
Just kidding. No, I did it because I was always interested in what makes people tick. To be honest, like,
Where
yeah,
does
because we are all born the same, like,
yeah.
but then we become so different. Even twins, for example, like you have identical twins and they have the same family, the
Yeah.
same genetics, same education, everything, and they turn out to be so different. So I was always fascinated by stuff like that, or what makes people run up the Mount Everest barefoot, stuff like that. So yeah, when I was 18 and I finished high school, I decided to get deeper into that field, and it was absolutely worth it. It was a nice journey. I enjoyed it a lot, even though I used most of my psychology skills in poker. Then I never used my skills in a proper profession. Yeah.
Well, I think it served you well. So,
Yeah.
being a trader, we live a real different life than the rest of the usual crowd, I guess. What do you think makes us different when it comes to lifestyle? What's
Well,
better about it? What's not good about it?
well, for me right now, I'm sitting in my bathrobe in front of my computer. It's 10 a.m. in the morning, and I just had a cold slice of pizza and, and having a good time. And I'm looking out of this window. I have a beautiful view here, and I can see the people down there running to the bus through the cold weather, being not in a perfect mood, and I'm just having the time of my life talking to you. So I mean, being a trader is awesome. I mean, to me it's the best lifestyle there is, because when I was working in an office, firstly you have colleagues that you don't like, but you have to talk to them. So that's already a waste of lifetime, right?
Okay, yeah.
It's horrible. And especially for me as an introvert, if I don't like people, I just don't want to talk to them. But I have to interact with them in an office setting. And then everything else, you have a boss that tells you when you can go to holidays or if you can't, and you have to do this and that. And as a trader, I'm just my own boss. I can do what I want when I want. I can work with whom I want. It's just amazing. I mean, to me, there's literally no downside to being a trader. But that is because I'm an introvert, of course, so I don't need a lot of social interaction. People that need social interaction could have a problem being a home trader. Maybe they should work for a hedge fund in an office setting.
Yeah, there's that option.
Yeah, you can. I mean, there are millions of ways to make money in our industry, and you can always find a way if you really love trading. If you're only in this industry to make money, not gonna get far, to be honest. But if you really love trading, whatever it is, algorithmic trading or chart trading, manual trading, whatever, you can absolutely build the life you want to have. And that's also the beauty of trading itself, because there are millions of ways to make money trading the euro dollar, for example. Even only one instrument, and that you can fit it around your lifestyle, around your psychology, and it tells you a lot about yourself as a person. I think I have improved a lot as a person due to trading as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. Best job in the world.
I agree. I'm doing the same thing. So, well, I know we do a lot of trading, but there's a lot of things outside trading that affects our trading. I'm sure you agree. But what stuff do people do outside trading that could make them a better trader? Is it going to the gym, for example?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, there are, of course, the standard skills like take care of your body, take care of your nutrition and your psyche as well. For me, that is meditation. I do a lot of meditation.
Wow.
That helps, definitely. Also with processing the noise and so on. But besides that, what also helps me, for example, that's why you need to know yourself very well. I'm a very creative person, My trading style is based on a creative approach, and when I'm not trading, I write songs, for example, or
Yeah. So cute.
yeah, that's what gets my creativity, my juices flowing. And after I made music for a few hours, I go back to the charts and I have a totally different point of view on
Wow.
the charts. So, yeah, you really have to know yourself. For me, for example, sports, I like martial arts, mixed martial arts.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun for me. If I would only go to the gym, it would make me aggressive. For example, just pumping iron, I think it's super boring. So
Okay.
that's the creative part again, right?
Yeah,
So,
it is.
yeah, and then of course also your relationships. If you have a non-supportive partner, that's a huge problem for traders, because the stress in our private life affects our performance a lot, definitely. And so things outside of trading, yeah, I mean, healthy body, healthy mind, and just make sure you are happy and that not all of your self-worth is derived from your trading success or failure.
Oh, I completely.
I used to be like that. In the evening, if I made $1,000, I felt like the king of the world. And if I lost $1,000, I was like, "Don't talk to me, leave me alone."
How did you get through that then?
It was a long process. It was a very long and tedious process. But in the end, I recognized that my long-term thinking makes me much less vulnerable to daily fluctuations. So I simply started to think in weeks, then in months, and now I think in quarters. So the results of a single trade or day just don't annoy me at all anymore. And I say the same to my investors, for example, that if they call me every day about about the result of the day, then I'm just not gonna trade with them anymore. It's just not gonna work. Like, we can talk after a quarter or a half a year. That's fine.
Oh, wow. So I think it's amazing that you talked about this, because a lot of traders go through it, and if they find out that even professionals go through it, they'd start to feel better and they'd start to feel like they're actually not going through that thing alone. You talked about having a non-supportive partner. Have you ever had this kind of situation?
Oh yeah, a lot actually.
Wow, okay. How did you deal with it then?
Just get rid of them. Yeah.
That's funny.
It's like a bad trade.
Cut losses, right?
Exactly, cut your loss and move on. It's like when I moved into poker the first time, my partner had that, like, she didn't take it serious. She didn't see it like me. I saw it as a business. She saw it like a boys' game or something. So yeah, she was more and more annoyed by me spending a lot of time with poker. So yeah, it didn't work out. And the same for trading. Like some of my partners, they didn't have a problem with me being a trader per se, but they said like, "Oh, you can do something better. You're so smart. You can do something to add value to society." Blah blah blah, that crap. And then also like drama, a lot of nonsense drama that just affects your bottom line in the market, and that's just the red signal for you to get out, cut your losses.
Well, I'm here to tell you that the stuff you do contributed to society in a large way, just not to the people maybe they're thinking about. But for us traders, Tradeciety has been an amazing resource. And Edgewonk.
That's very kind.
Well, lastly, what do you think contributed to your upward spiral as a trader? What was your breakthrough?
My breakthrough moment, I had two breakthrough moments actually. One was when I was surfing in Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
It was quite interesting. I had at that time I was profitable, and I rented a house in Vietnam for 2 weeks with a friend, and we just traded in the morning and we went surfing in the afternoon. and I
Okay.
had huge problem. Good lifestyle, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
And I had a huge problem that time holding my trades for longer than the first pullback. So while I was waiting for the next wave to hit my board, I was thinking like, okay, the market actually moves like the waves. So there's a big wave coming, and then there are a few minor waves, and they all pull back into the oceans. And then there comes another big wave, and so on. And then finally you have the tides, right? So that's when uptrend and downtrend and so on. So I thought if the waves are moving this way, and it makes so much sense to me as a surfer to wait for the biggest wave and then ride it out till the end. Why? Because the market moves in waves too, then why don't I do it as a trader as well? So I changed my whole philosophy as a trader only from that one moment on the surfing board. And it was quite funny. Yeah. And then suddenly I started making a lot. Yeah, it was one of those weird connections in your brains.
No, I mean, if this was a movie, the background music would be really nice. You know, it could be a song, Moritz. That could be a song.
Yeah, I'll make a song about it someday, like Ed Coda, the Whipsaw song.
Yeah, you should. So, how about the second breakthrough?
The second breakthrough was, as I said before, that you don't need a lot of returns to make a good living from trading. So before that, I was trying to shoot for 20% a month, and it messed with my expectations completely. And that the main problem was that I didn't have enough capital to trade with.
Okay.
So what I did is I started looking for ways to get more capital, because I didn't want to be stuck in Thailand or Vietnam for the rest of my life trading in my tiny account. So that time I started looking into social trading sites like Darwinex and so on, where other people can follow your trades, and then you get a commission from that. And then I built my following there, and suddenly I was making more than enough with only 2 to 5% a month. And that's when it really clicked for me that I don't need my own money to become rich. I just need other people to believe and invest in me, and I make returns for them. They are happy. I make returns for myself. I'm happy. Everyone's happy. So,
it's a win-win situation.
Exactly. Yes.
I agree.
That was a really big breakthrough for me back then, because I was very stressed out about I wanted to visit my family more often, but I couldn't afford a flight every month back to Germany and so on. I could have lived in a small apartment in Germany, but that would have made me unhappy. So I was just really looking for ways to make more money without pushing myself to take more trades, or without pushing myself to try to make a performance that just isn't possible. Yeah.
Necessity is the mother of invention. We do stuff when we need to, right?
Yes.
I agree.
Exactly. Yeah.
So actually, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and then later, after the 1 or 2 years later, I got my money back actually from the poker site, because
it took a while.
It took a while. Yeah, they had a few lawsuits, and it took a while, but I got it back eventually. And then suddenly everything was smooth sailing, right? If I had that money from the beginning, I would have had enough capital to trade on my own, but like that just wasn't enough. So that was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
That experience, I'm now also moving into other ventures. Yeah.
Yeah, it does sound like it. What's coming for Moritz?
Well, we are trying to actually move into the Chinese market, which is going to be interesting. Maybe you know that we released a book last month in English and German, and we are trying to get that into the Chinese market as well.
And any chance it could be Tagalog?
If you want to translate it, we can do it. Yeah, no problem. And yeah, because Chinese market is huge and growing, and they love trading. And I can speak a bit Chinese. I lived in Beijing for 2 years actually, so I back into Chinese as well. And there are also a lot of people that want to invest into trading vehicles. So that's going to be my main job over the next few years, tackling the Chinese market, networking, finding investors, and on the side, of course, creating more and more alpha. Yeah.
Wow, it's all about the hustle here.
Yeah, and a little bit of free time.
I love it. And more songs, please.
Yeah, maybe I will publish them someday. Let's see.
All right. So that's actually it. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Absolutely.
So any message to your Filipino fans?
My message is, if you are a struggling trader, then in the Filipino market or any other market, find a process and adjust your expectations. As soon as you're a profitable trader, find investors and then just create consistent returns and make yourself and your family happy. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you, Moritz. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you too.
Right.
Yes.